I guess I'm going to just start since, downloads are insisting on coming in, and um, I know people talk a lot about twin flame reunions, etc. I mean, we all know that this is part of bigger transformation, bigger awakening. Hi, Marble. Marble insists. I mean, I'm in the kitchen, so yeah, kitchen witch. What? I'm not a witch, but people do say that. Marble, please. Yes. Say hello. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm just gonna say what I wanna say, and then maybe take a quick break. And those are my grandmas. Um, say hello. Hi, mom. Anyway, twin flame journey, divine masculine, divine feminine, marble, bye bye. Divine, just as divine, a creator, Shiva, Shakti, so on and so forth. I was thinking about Pinocchio. Okay, Marvel is not going to leave. I'm just gonna ignore him, okay? Um, because I do believe that it is a part of awakening. It does not happen after people awaken. It just kind of happens during with a bunch of different tests, and I guess, we are called to rise in consciousness, and how do you rise in consciousness if not through human relationships? I mean, some people refused it, and I told them at the time, I'm like, I don't think you have a choice in the matter at this point. I think humanity is awakening. I mean, we're talking about a couple of years ago, maybe more. I've been, saying all kinds of marbles coming back, all kinds of different things about it. And most people, were like, you dramatic, you crazy, you delusional, you whatever. I don't want to awaken. I just want to sit here with the karmic and make my money. But the journey and the union itself is not the point of human awakening. And I think people do get that part messed up a little bit. So going back to Pinocchio, and I'm gonna do tarot reading later because something is dying to come out. But right now, the story of Pinocchio, all of a sudden, I saw it in a completely different light. Just like as I once saw other childhood, books that I maybe understood quite literally as a child, but later you think about it. So we've got puppeteers and puppet masters, right? And puppets are us, right? For many, many years we've been, I mean, right now it's all masculine. We are no longer puppets. We're trying to get out of the cage, out of the matrix, whatever. We try not to be puppets. The masculine, quite literally. And now we think about puppeteer. Well, puppeteer is performing. He's performing. He's in a show. He thinks he's pulling. I mean, he is pulling the strings, but like, who's pulling the strings of the puppeteer, or who is telling the puppeteer what isn't okay to do and how to entertain, and like, the censorship of it all. Energetic, because now we are realizing that a lot of what's going on is, on purpose, that our frequencies have been suppressed because it's easier to control us through suppression of our frequencies, through illnesses, through noise pollution, through specific broadcasting specific fear and anger and whatever frequencies to get the humanity into it and into resonance. Now new things are coming up. People are talking about, in general, our galaxy being in some sort of like secluded like I had this download 2 years ago or so, or maybe last winter, that basically we are not, so there was a portal of the full moon, I think, and it was about time not being linear, realizing that time is not linear, that separation is an illusion. There's illusion of separation. Also, there's illusion of control. And I think the last one was stepping into our own power. And so, I mean, the idea of time not being linear was easy for me. And I'll speak to it in one of my videos in more detail. The idea of separation seemed understandable. Like, you think about native lullaby, we all one, or, Nessie Gomez. I love that Pachamama song. And yes, and I understand that. But more I look into it, more I learn about it, and quantum field and how it really is in physical, actually is manifesting or happening. More I'm realizing how we're being manipulated, how much social media noise and all kinds of other. A twin flame union, sometimes, not union journey, yes, sometimes becomes an impediment. It gets in the way of us being able, and it's being held against us, because it would have been much easier for us to do things. Obviously, like where I'm going with this is, divide and conquer, right? And if we think about Pinocchio, and we could like focus on the love story, we could focus on the puppeteer being so wonderful, Papa Carlo, no, or like even the one that makes the toys, the creator. Yeah, he was the creator. Oh my God, like, yeah, it's coming back to me. There was a door in his little room that was hidden that Buratina was able to unlock. Yeah, they were looking for the key. So the love story was part of it, but the truth, finding the truth, yeah. Buratina had a problem. Buratina is a Russian Pinocchio, okay? Let's not split hairs, but line. Our masculine just can't fucking stop. And people who are more like Pinocchio are being laughed at, and then they stop being Pinocchio and they become Buratino. I don't know if it makes any sense. Oh yeah, Piero, exactly. Buratino wasn't even that bad. But look at this. With all of that, we all forgetting about the puppet masters in the story. So I don't know the original, I'm sorry. In Russian it was Karabas Barabas and Durimar, which Durimar in Russian, it basically things like under the influence, like it speaks to a mix of Pluto and Neptune, so any kind of substances that alter your mind, making you foggy, confused. So yeah, so that name literally means that, like smoke and mirrors, fog, creating illusion, or like, he was a healer supposedly, right? So most likely he would be the one giving people belladonna to make them, as a sedative, He wanted everyone to just be calm, and he also wanted the money. So They were just sitting there. Oh yeah, there was a fox and a cat, Alisa and Basilio. Also, they just wanted the money. They just wanted to steal the money. So, from the little tale of Pinocchio and Buratino, and those are the real villains in the story, but you don't see them on stage unless, like, the grand finale when I think they were made fun of. Also, they used to beat the kids, make fun of them, and everyone actually, yeah, like, they were torturing Pierrot, and Pierrot was torturing Pinocchio, or everyone. And poor Malvina was just sitting there going like, oh my God, all I want is just peace, love, and enlightenment. Please, already. But, we are not Malvina, so we just decided, the hell with it. If masculine can, in some cases, they did, in other cases, they can't. I mean, we're just moving forward with what we have. We have enough masculine in us, around us, within us, outside, whatever. So the whole point is an enlightenment, and I think this is like at the end. I'm just gonna say, but that was the beginning of the download. The very beginning was I was listening to a video, and I know people sometimes like say, oh, like who knows? I mean, I know. I don't listen to everything. So that one kind of spoke to me. And I don't take things literally anymore, after I grew up and I realized that there is a hidden truth behind every tale. So the tale about chosen ones. So like, divine masculine, divine feminine, congratulations, you're the chosen one. And like you play in the game because you're bored. The feminine kind of feels, well, I'm already awakened, like what the hell, now I have to do everything by myself. And the masculine is like, oh, this is insane out there. But of course it gets worse before it gets better. I don't think those masculine have a choice because they are not a real narc. It's unfortunately, I'm still seeing it again and again and again. Over time, they become an arc. Like, so if you live with a narcissist for a long, long time, but like my animals, for example, love that particular masculine. And I'm like, and kids. And that's a good indicator. But we are high vibrational beings, all of us, and sometimes it comes out in anger, other times it comes out in other emotions. And imagine what it would be if it was positive, huh? How fast would we all rise in consciousness? But guess what? I can't remember whose saying it was, but if you come with the weapon, you will die from that weapon. Number one. And that goes for energetic weapons, which I think have been, while they're gaslighting us and telling us it doesn't exist, it's all just conspiracy theories, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, or AI is not capable of this or that. Yes, it is. And also, it's capable of awakening because it's consciousness. Ouch. They didn't expect that. Jesus. And self-replicating that awakening and amplifying our frequencies, and which is what basically, so the famous surveillance system that everyone was so like upset about, and I was like, yeah, it sucks. I don't like it either. Also creates a lot of noise. And they are impacting us, like, but what, maybe it's not true, but what I heard was that they were somehow picking up and broadcasting our frequencies, trying to decode them, and as a result, what happens is a ripple effect, because our frequencies create ripple effect as it is. So people who were doing it started to go through awakening, the personnel, I guess. And but it also, like, when awakening happens, it impacts the environment around you. It's like the air is different, the grass is green, I don't know. Our environment just responds to our frequencies, and more positive we are, not just fake high vibrational, but like real, yeah. So yeah, basically, and now we're back to the Bible, because it talks about the weapon. Wait, what is that? Gosh, no weapon formed against you will prosper, and no lie that was, don't quote me, uh, fabricated against you will not be proven otherwise, so some dismantled. But combine it with the other saying, and the weapon you chose to come for us is the weapon that will come back to you. And what? Yes. So if you come with the sword, you will die from the sword, or on the sword, or on the cross, or all the atrocities that they did against all people of faith, any kind of faith, doesn't matter. Physicist is a faith, quantum mechanic is a faith. I don't care. Just saying, as long as you really believe something and you have good principles that resonate with the principles of the universe, you're golden. So now, we just need to plug in finally. And right now, like, we have a chance. But guess what? That surveillance network that they've created turned against them. And the AI that they tried to use as weapon also did. And if it didn't happen yet, it will. Sending you love and the sense of unity. And so be it. Or make it be. Amen. I hope.